Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Bookish Artist Mandy here, and I am coming at you today to talk a little bit again more about my traveler's notebooks. If you don't know, I am really new to this traveler's notebook experience, and I am just really trying to decide if this is the route, at least for now in my life, that I want to go. So this one is what I call my planner one. And then I have another one that's more like it has my wallet and my, I put a wallet in there, which I really like. And so it houses all my cards and a couple other notebooks, just random notebooks. But this one has my planner and then just a random notebook that I just draw and write, well, not draw, well, sometimes I do, but write in here. And then this one's my sticker release paper. And right here I house my little Midori sketchbook, the MD insert, which is the cream colored one is what I prefer. And so I thought I was only going to use this for travel, and I ended up just really using it like not necessarily travel when I'm traveling around it's just when I'm traveling even in my city. So I had drawn a picture, like a little cartoon version of me traveling, and I made this my first traveler sketchbook. I clearly used not a waterproof ink, and then I had gotten a new Neocolor set, so I threw some stickers. It is very well loved, and that is something that I am not surprised about. I usually go for hardcover sketchbooks, so like this one is my Archer and Olive one that I have, or I do like Royal Talons ones, and this one I'm actually getting pretty far into finally, even though I've been working in other sketchbooks. So it's kind of just trying to figure out. I have a couple more of my Archer and Olive. I have a couple of my Talons. And I have this, and I completed this. So this is kind of a sketchbook tour and just talking about where we're moving forward from here. And as you can see, I already had this sketchbook going from March until now. And I also had this sketchbook going. I actually finished the sketchbook the other day. So there will be a sketchbook tour on this guy. I tried to finish it from March to April, so a full month, and made it to, well, here. So I didn't even make it that far, March to April. And then I tried to finish it from June 23rd to July 1st, and did not make it very far either. Well, okay, that's farther than this. In 7 days, I made it really far. And then I finished the rest of this in July. So it is kind of, yeah, it's kind of a little thing, but it's talents. I'm still trying to figure out what mediums I'm loving right now and what I want. So it's really hard because a lot of times I really want to just draw on my pen, and that's where this one comes in. So those ones are really mixed media, where this one I've done a little bit mixed media, but most of it is pen work. So we'll get into it. I don't remember when I started this, and okay, so I started it May 2nd. I finished it, gosh, I don't even know. I finished it a couple weeks ago, or like a week ago. So I've got to figure out when I finished it, and so I will write that in, but it was only a couple months. So I thought that I would just use this when I was traveling. And on May 8th, I went to Omaha Zoo, which is a little bit farther, but I took students there, and I just kind of, on the bus after, I sketched some of the things that we saw. And then I sketched some trees out the window, and I was just using my pens because I really love my fountain pens. And if you've been on my channel for more than just this video, you will know that I love my fountain pens. They are my comfort. They are my pride and joy. I have too many pens inked at once, and I think if I changed my channel's name, it would probably be like Too Many Pens or something. I don't know. But I was playing with this rock character too. I had went on a solo art day down to, we have these beautiful falls. They're actually just called the falls here in my city. And I created a quartzite, rose quartzite character. And I was trying to play with like little different shapes and how he would react to the world. And then this one was also during that same bus ride. I love to find these, the old Creative Commons books. Like, I can't remember, I think it's Dover Publishing. And if I figure it out, I'll leave it down in the link in the comments. But they make these books where they gather together all sorts of different artwork from the 1800s, the 1700s. And this one is floral motifs. And so what's really great about this is that these are fair use. So you can use them in your work without feeling like you're stealing. So I just did a lot of studying all the different flowers from them. And it's really fun to see back in the 1800s and before, how many of these like flower designs people use even now in their work. So it was so much fun to do that, because I see these kind of flowers and I love these flowers in other people's work, but it's so much fun to see that it's this history that is just still going, and it's a way I feel like we can connect to each other. Like, art is such a way for me, I think, to connect with people, but I think we can connect to each other and the past. And so, yeah, this was a lot of fun. And this was done with my Benu Pixie. And I think that, so this was Sailor Ink Studio 173. And my sample was so old that when I replaced it with a bottle, because I really did like this color, it's very different. So that's kind of fun. And then we went to the zoo, and I went with my son's class May 8th. And then we went that weekend. So I went to the zoo 3 times in a week, different zoos. And it was fun because they had a splash park at our zoo. This was my first use of Kakimori's Makuri. I love the color, but I find that it doesn't dry very fast and it smudges a lot and it leaks, but that color is so gorgeous that I keep trying to put it in pens, and I have a full bottle, so I'll still use it, but it's one that I have been bummed about. Now you'll see what happened here. I spilled ink. You'll see what happened here later, but I was at my parents' house on May 16th, and there were some dandelions there, and I drew them. This is all with ink. This is all layering fountain pen. I really love to layer and color fountain pen, and I think the MD paper, the Midori paper, is the best to do that with. Same here. And then I wrote down the colors I used. I really, really love the way that it looks when you layer them. This was a picture I took from my walk. Like, all these pictures were from my May walks. And this one became a sticker in one of my books. I think a lot of these became a sticker in one of my sticker packs. I don't have many sticker packs on my KOFI, but these ones did become stickers. I pulled them in, I cleaned them up a little bit, and then I put them on a digital sticker pack, which I think is kind of fun. And then this is me trying a comic of my life, and I'm still working on trying to do more comics. I have always wanted to do comics, and I just never felt like I was skilled enough to, and so it feels really good that I can. And this is something that I'm struggling with as somebody who has ADHD, borderline personality disorder, and PTSD. I always forget about PTSD, but it's definitely there, and it's rearing its ugly head this last month. And so my house is a mess, and I really struggle with it. And so if you struggle with a messy house, no, you're not alone. So this is my house. I can't keep it clean. The mess piles up, and I shut down because I'm overwhelmed. Then the mess piles up, and I don't know where to begin. So I let it pile and sleep. And it's been really tough. And so depression and all of these things that I go through are really tough. And I sometimes don't feel like on social media we show this. And I know that I, even for myself, have a really hard time showing anything besides this little section of my life. Like this right here is clean. And it's showing something that isn't always the realistic, real life. And I really wanted to talk about it with myself. Like this is my life. Like I really struggle with this. And you know, I'm struggling with the fact that I have to show my kids how to do this too and live. And so, yeah, it's just kind of one of those things where no, you're not alone if you don't have a perfect house and you don't have a perfect everything, because we're all out here doing our best. And I am showing up and doing my best in the best ways that I possibly can. But I'm also going to have grace on myself because I know that I'm fighting a battle and I'm getting the professional help I need. And that's what's really important. And this was Eco Lines. I used this. And then this was a Diamine Forever ink. And this is the Purple Passion. I only had it inked up in a pen for a couple weeks and then finished it. And so I don't know. I haven't used it lately, but this one might be one that I come back to. I just feel like it's too bright for some of the palettes that I've been using. But my normal palettes, I can use that with. And we were at our campground. My in-laws have a campsite where they leave their camper for the summer. And so I had brought in that multicolored pencil that I love so much. I forget the brand name. Is it Koh-i-Noor? I don't know, but they're big and thick and they have rainbow colors and I love playing with them, especially in sketchbooks. But I was drawing and then my son was drawing too with me, my youngest, which is funny because it's usually my oldest. And so that was fun. And then this I did on screen. So there's a video of this. These are Crayola pastel markers that I wanted forever. And they work really well in the Midori book. They do not work as well in my Royal Talons. And I'll show you. They don't layer very well in the Talons, but the Midori, it's just paper. Paper makes a difference. And that's one of the things that I've learned in the journey of art is that your materials, the paper matters. And so even with fountain pens, but even with other things too, I am trying to find where I had that Crayola crayon. Because it is, I don't want to show everything. I just want to show the Crayola crayon. Because Tombow markers work better in here. But I was layering with Crayola and it wasn't working very well. Let's see. I know it's in here, so I just have to figure out where it was. Because I was doing a Sophie McPike tutorial. And there it is. So this is with Crayola and Neo colors. And it just didn't work out as well. Like this one right here is Crayola, just Crayola. It's very pilly compared to, if I go back to my Tombow, the Tombows look so much better, I think. And I wish I could explain to you, but the Tombows don't pill as much. They do pill if you do it too fast and layer, but yeah, the Crayola just weren't working, so I kind of had to give up. But I do love those colors, and so I'll definitely continue to use them in here. And then these are some more of those multicolored. They have a rainbow one, but then they have a whole set that's got just different colors of the same colors. And then these were also on that swatching. These were pastel, excuse me. These were pastel watercolors that I had randomly found, and I actually enjoy them. I need to pull those out more. And then my new pen day, I got my Benu Euphoria in Lemon Sorbet. I love this pen so much. And yeah, just some doodling. And then I was trying to figure out my colors and my swatches for going to San Diego, and I was trying to go with like a more retro, bold, seaside feel. So this was figuring out which colored pencils, which pens, and then this was on the plane to San Diego that I was just doodling. And this is with Ghost Plant. I love Ghost Plant and my Twisby Matcha. I would love to go and bring this into Procreate and work more on that, but that's me hugging my Twisby because I loved it. And trying to figure out, my sons want me to do animal characters of them. And my oldest, I definitely think would be a Komodo dragon. So that's a lot of fun. But trying to figure out my youngest, he wanted to be a seal because there's seals in San Diego. But I don't know if that works very well. And so just playing around. This was the hotel we stayed at. We stayed at this one right on the water. So I took my notes in here, and then I have my other one that I've been working on. And so this was just like, I love the font of this hotel and like just doodling. And then I got a pen out there, and I had a lot of oil in my hands. This page wasn't working very well. And this was Vert Empire. And some more. This is a Warwick's visit, just writing some notes about my Warwick's visit. And I got my cold stone. Buns got her cold stone. I've been playing with making myself a bunny and calling her Buns, but I don't know. But I love doing both the chibi and the full-size character. And so it's always hard for me because I know that some people go the like little minis and that's all they do. But I love both. I love the way that full-size characters look, and it's so much fun. And then we decided, at least at this point, we decided that my son is an axolotl. And this is Monteverdi Lion. Oh, I love this. I love this yellow so much. It's such a pretty yellow. And my son loves my old phone, and he loves his Switch, and he loves cookies. And so we were just drawing. I was just drawing things. He got a new axolotl stuffed animal at gosh, where was it? Was it at the San Diego Zoo? So he got that, and I was just having a lot of fun coming up with little poses for him. And I haven't done anything with these except they're right here. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. And I'm finding that because I want to scan these things, I'm only using one side sometimes when I really like them, because I'd love to just scan these in and play around with them and finalize them. And then there's my dog, one of my dogs, my Brutus, and the Komodo dragon that we had to see 3 times. This one is, this one is one of the Diamond Forever inks. I just love the way that the ink pools in places, so it's a lot of fun. And then on the way back from San Diego, this was done on the plane. I had taken pictures of the red panda. Red pandas are one of my favorite animals, and every zoo that I go to, I just have to look at the red pandas. It doesn't matter. We have red pandas here in we have a red panda here in Sioux Falls, and then we have down in Lincoln, Nebraska, they have red pandas, and they even had babies this year, and that was really fun when we go down to their zoo because they have a children's zoo. So I think Omaha Zoo, the Henry Dorley Omaha Zoo, does have red pandas, but that zoo is so huge you can never find them because I just never have time. And then me with my new pen, because then I decided maybe I'll be a red panda, because why not? And so I was playing around with different designs for a red panda, and we decided that my nephew was a trash panda, a raccoon, and then what's this? I find it rather interesting that even getting fancy pens, I seem to always want to come back to my Twisbies. Yeah, I love my Twisbies. I really do. And so, and my nephew texted me while we were gone, Auntie, come back, I want Doog. Doog is my oldest dog, Brutus. Him and Alex grew up together. Alex was, I think, 5 or 6 when we got him. And so they kind of have grown up together. Maybe even 4. Gosh, because my dog is 10 and he's 14. So I think he was 4. So they grew up together, and they have such a special bond. I think if my dog could, he would live with my nephew. And so, yeah. And then this was me after a week of not being able to swatch ink. I swatched some ink by taking my pen and twisting it out of the piston of my Twisby and using some of the wrapper from the Peanuts or whatever. Not Peanuts, but you get like whatever you get on the plane anymore. You don't get Peanuts anymore, but yeah. That was fun, but I love this. This is Sailor Ink Studio 241, and it's so beautiful. But don't recommend trying to do ink swatches on a plane if you don't want to make a mess. I didn't make a mess, though. But my husband thought I was going to. And then I think this was back home. or maybe it was still on the plane. I'm not sure, but wearing ghouls beneath the wheel. This ended up being, so this is from the pen. This is the ink sample I got, and it is not beneath the wheel, my bottle. So I am kind of bummed because the bottle is way different. Not way, but enough different that it is not the same color. And I want this color. So I'm still kind of searching. I'm gonna keep searching for a green that is this color because this was beautiful, but it is not beneath the wheel. I don't get me wrong though. I'm happy I have a full bottle of beneath the wheel, the actual one, that I do like that green. It's just not what I wanted. And so yeah, some more playing with a Diamine Forever mix that I did on the channel, and just kind of playing around with seeing how all the inks that I love right now are very similar. Yeah, and then playing with Momo Pink. Momo Pink was another one where I think my ink sample was evaporated, which is now like seeing all these ink samples that are evaporated and aren't necessarily the color that I thought they were. I am going through my samples and trying to use them up because I need to just chill on having so much ink. But it is a learning process. Sailor Ink Studio 1. This is actually 131. 130 is far more orange. I have both, and this is one of my favorite pinks of all time. I love this pink so much, and I just put it back in a pen for the month of July. So, and I've been really inspired by Sophie McPike's flowers lately. So I've been doodling a lot of flowers that look a lot like her stuff, and I'm trying to like put it into my style. So I feel like if you're doing style studies, you need to make sure that you're trying it and then not looking at their reference. And then I've been playing with just simplifying flowers on my own too. All right. And then we watched part of K-Pop Demon Hunters. I need to finish the movie, but I was drawing to pay attention, and I think we watched about a half an hour, and then my youngest was like, turn this off, Mommy, I'm so bored, I'm tired. And so we did. And then where I accidentally spilt ink on the page because my AdMock wasn't working very well. And my sons were doing their swimming lessons. They're doing awesome. And me trying to draw a zombie. And then I was playing with ink colors that I have been obsessed with lately. And so this is the difference. I was trying to see the difference between the Amber de Bermani and the newest one I have, which is Octopus Baroque 1920 Charleston. I am obsessed with this ink. Do you see those colors and all the different colors you get in that one ink? I just love it. So I have a sample of Ferris Wheel Press Oyster Hour, and I know people love it, and they discontinued it. So you can only find it in a few places. And I was trying to decide, do I need any more than my full sample? Or because I only have like half a sample left. Do I need any more? And because that's one where if it's discontinued, I want to grab it right away before I can't get it, because I hate when that kind of stuff happens, and I don't want to have the like mental, I missed out, I'm struggling. And I decided, you know what? I have plenty that look like that. Honestly, London Toolbar Sesame Oil looks similar as well. I don't have it on this page, but it looks similar as well. And I think I like sesame oil just a tad bit more. Micah Oatley gave me a sample of sesame oil that I'm still working through. So I don't need any more sesame oil as well. But I find myself drawn more to these really warm, like brownish, like that's round. And so I have these ones in bottles, and I think that I love these. I love the ambers. And so those are where I'm at. And then these ones are other ones that I really like. So Cafe Crema is one of my favorite. And I love just how it goes to black in its dark areas when you pools. And Colorverse Cornfield kind of does the same thing, only it's a little bit lighter. So I don't feel like you need both Colorverse Cornfield and Cafe Crema. Cornfield only comes in a 15 milliliter bottle, and I was playing with the bottle design and like, oh, what if this was a bird? Because bird skulls are very similar to the Colorverse bottle design, just in case you didn't know. And then I simplified it even more. And I knew at this point that, so these also, I knew at this point that, not Diamond, Benu was sending me my amber pen. That is absolutely beautiful, that I love so much. Check out my video if you haven't. But so I was trying to decide, because I knew that one of the reasons I was drawn to it was because of dinosaurs. So I tried KWZ Jurassic. I did end up going with this ink because I just love it so much, but this was also why I was doing this. And then I decided that I wanted to do some gesture quick doodles of different different poses of ducks, sorry. And I was playing with, this is all done with one of my dip pens. I think it's just my Sailor Hokoro. I didn't write that down. I should have, but it's either my Sailor Hokoro or one of my brass or steel nibs. And I just pulled up pictures of ducks, like actual ducks, and I simplified them, knowing my shapes or knowing my style. And I just did the poses. And I think I was trying to go for, when I do these kind of things, my goal is to do 100 of an animal or a study when I'm doing studies, because I feel like the one thing that I have learned in my art journey is repetition, 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 even with lettering, because one of the reasons I have gotten, even with my just my cursive, is that I have studied the different strokes and repetition. And I know that simplifying, this is a circle with a circle and a triangle. So I really want to focus on that and just try to play with that. But then I have this reference guide when I go back of my own art that I can take and put like ducks. And then they're in your memory. So now I could take a piece of paper, I can shut this, and I can just grab this. I know that my ducks have a round bill. I know that they have a circular head, and I like to do this. And I know that this is how I do this. And this is a circle, and this is a triangle. And then I know that I like to have my flapper guy in there. Forget the wing, flapper guy. And I know that I like to do L's for legs. Like this is that. But I can also know that I can do it this way and then have his arm out here because I've practiced. And then he can be running or jumping, whatever. But because I've done the work, the mental work of practicing, I can do that on the fly without looking at these. So this is why I do this. So it's a random scrap paper. I just did that on the fly for you, but that's why I do this. And when you look, he's pretty similar to this. See that? So highly recommend. This is how artists who have gotten like really good, that's how they do it, is this stuff. So I follow them. But I was playing with different inks. I was just grabbing whatever inks. If I was grabbing, some of these are samples, some of these are bottles. I just was grabbing whatever piqued my interest in the brown family. This was actually with my pen because I had a Diamond Forever mix in there. And then, yeah, just playing with some more designs and playing with my pens and doodling. I really love this, and I really think that I need to do more with this like idea of putting animal heads into flowers because it's so much fun. And this flower is one that kind of came out of my doodling session, these two flowers, and I'm obsessed with drawing these two flowers right now. This was a simplification of an iris, and I just was doing different shapes here for this one. And so, yeah, I've been loving these two flowers for some reason. I cannot tell you why. I'm just drawn to them. I'm always drawn to roses, or this is not roses. This is a peony, but I'm drawn to peony and roses. I just love that peonies have these like scallops all through them. And I was reading, the reason I started drawing irises was because I was rereading The Cherry Robbers by Saray Walker. And I love that book so much, but all the main characters are flowers. And so Iris is the main character, and I really enjoyed that. And one of the things that I love to do is I love to look at other people's art and study it and write. I always make sure that I'm writing it somewhere. So this is Anatab on, I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, but she is on Instagram as Anatab, and I bought her coloring pages once. And so I was actually studying the color pages that I had and then taking ideas and putting them into my own. This is the last page, but I really love the simple shapes and the way that there's detail in them. And it's really fun to look at that and say, see, I said I love how the shapes are broken down in this bird. So this was just me studying. And so I do that. I study a lot of artists, and then I take what I like from my sketchbook, and then it morphs into my style. And that's that's how I do that. I do a lot of studies and a lot of different studies. I studied Muka in May. Who did I study last month? I can't remember, but right now I have this book, and this is an artist I've studied quite a few times, and I've actually met her. The Wayfinder, The Art of Gretel Lusky. She is a dear human, but also she is super flippin' skilled. That's all I'm going to say. Super flippin' skilled. So I've been looking at hers, and I've also been going through my art books by Lois Van Barl, because Lois is one of my all-time favorite artists, and I just love looking at her stuff. I have been following her for almost 30 years, her entire career, even before she had a career, and she was just on Oakaki boards. I was one of the people who was on the Oakaki boards with her. So it's really fun to see how far she's gone. And I luckily a few years ago got to meet her and have a couple conversations with her. And we had a great chat, and she is just a fabulous human, but she lives in Europe. So the fact that I got to meet her in Los Angeles was really cool. And like one of those, like, what do you call it? Dreams, you know, the thing that you never thought would actually happen, goal met. And so my brother-in-law got to hold a koala in Australia this year, and he said life goal achieved. And so that was kind of what that one for me. But that's just an idea of why, like, I can doodle in things this much, and they're not all great. Like, this is not all wonderful. I see this, like, this picture of my son. Like, what is this? Like, this is what art is, and what play is, and you don't have to have it perfect. And I have found that this, of all things, this Traveler's Notebook, the MD, has made me even less scared to just draw. And so, I mean, and I have been that way in my other sketchbooks. Like, these are not all beautiful pages. There are some not beautiful pages, but then there are some really, really beautiful pages in here. Like this, let me see. This one, I absolutely adore. This was one that I did with watercolor. And then I did my white TWSBI pen over it. By the way, if you want an update on my white TWSBI pen, it is still working, and it is about a week later. So I am loving it. And I am going to, when I finish all of the white ink in it, I'm going to do a clean out video, just so you know, but it is still working. And I am, yeah, but this is why I wanted it, is things like this. This is so much fun, lots of mark making. So I have pages like this, but I also have pages like this. What is this? Who knows? But I was playing with the white pen. So, and this one. So that's kind of where I'm at with my sketchbooks. I have completed works, but I also have lots of mess. So That's why I like to show my sketchbooks and show that they're not always perfect. They're a lot of fun, and this is great. And then Jackalope Journals here on YouTube mentioned on one of her newest videos, and I zoomed out for this, her latest videos, that she was using this for her finished traveler's sketchbooks or notebooks and things. I love this. This is so great, but I hate these. I'm pulling them out. These are metal that you're supposed to put the notebooks in, but if you can see down here, I had it in here and it's causing that. So I had bought these for my traveler's notebook off of Amazon because they were a really cheap one. I was just trying to figure out, this was for my traveler's notebook I made. I was trying to figure out the difference between the traveler's notebook elastic and the elastics I had in my office, because I had a lot of elastic because I used to, you know, make doll clothes for a living. I had my own business for many years, and so I was trying to figure out, the elastic that I had was just thinner and it wasn't as strong, like it felt flimsier. So I was just trying to figure out what this was and if I could buy it in bulk, because I don't need 5 different colors. I just need like a brown, but I haven't figured it out yet. It's very thick, but I do like it. And so I thought I was just gonna do this and tie it here and then do it here and just use these, because I don't like those. I don't like how that feels. I don't know why they wouldn't have done this in the first place. Somebody explain it to me. I don't know, but now I am going to use it. Just maybe production wise it makes more sense, but I think that using these elastics is going to be nicer on my notebook, and that I think it will work better for me. So this is the first one that I have finished. I'm excited to watch these get filled and then, like, you know, put dates, but I only have this one binder right now. Yeah, see, that works really well. And now I can clip it. Oh, there's some scissors right here. Because I'm making a mess. I can clip it and then there. Because that will, I think, work better, because it is that same traveler's notebook feel, but then it's not gonna hurt my notebook. Yeah. See? There we go. Ha! See? Rig the system. Now I don't know what I'm going to do with these, but I don't feel like I should throw them out either. If you have any ideas for use on these, they're a little bit bendy, but I don't know. I'm going to put them in one of my hodgepodge containers because I'm sure I can find a use for them. But yeah, now I have this, and so I will continue to put my sketchbooks in. This took a little over a month to fill, and I think if I'm drawing every day and not just taking it with me traveling, it may go faster. These were bingo daubers. I went to bingo with my family, so yeah. Anyway, it's gonna be fun to have this definitely in my sketchbook. And so I already have my next one, and I'm going to fill this out and all that kind of stuff. I don't think I'm going to do a video for that, but I do have all these cute little stickers from Micah Oatley here. And I loved these little flower cats she had. And so I think while we are here, I am going to pick one of these. Let's see here. I have a bunch that I printed out. And I think, which one? Oh, this one's a cute dude. Yeah, this one. I think. Let's just double check. Yeah. I like the sleepy eyes. And then maybe a flower. Which flower, though? Which flower? I think I like this little clover, like a 4-leaf clover. Yeah. And then I will just do this, and this is my next one. And I'm going to put... There we go. So we'll just... I'm not going to go crazy with the decorations on these. Okay, that's how I kind of feel. So then, yeah. And then I'm going to put, and this is a Diamine Forever ink. This is red ochre. It has become a quick favorite, which is funny because I was using butterscotch for so long, and then I I only have a sample of red ochre, so I'm going to have to get a bottle. Mandy's Travelers, not travel, because this is going to be Traveler's sketchbook, since I'm going to just have it wherever I go, not just, you know, on travels. Sketchbook number 2. There we go. And so that's that. All right. Well, that is it for the day. Thank you so much for being here. Okay. What if I have this sound here? Sorry. Just going crazy. I love the little puppy. He's so cute. Oh my goodness. Okay, I have to. But thank you so much for being here today as I'm putting my sticker on. Like, comment, subscribe, the same whole thing. Links down in the description. Yeah. And I will see you in the next one.